Hey everybody, welcome back to another amazing playthrough of my Saga campaign, and I'm playing my Bond of Friendship Hobbit deck, and I thought I would just very quickly review what we've done. I've only made it through the first quest right now, but I can at least give you an idea of what has happened. So in my campaign log, I have Mr. Underhill and Gandalf's Delay. I have earned Gandalf's Delay. And in this scenario, I get Old Bogey Stories. Now, Old Forest, interestingly, was a Gen Con quest, so there's really not much that interacts with the campaign setup. Like, there's not much that targets, if anything, that targets the Fellowship spheres particularly, or things that target Frodo or the Ring Bearer. And I'm also using the same deck that I had last time. My hope is that I would use the same deck through the whole of the saga. I'm calling this my Bond of Saga ship deck, and I'm using Tactics Bilbo, Lore Falco Boffin, Spirit Mary, and Sam Gamgee. And I think I went over this pretty good the last time. In this particular scenario, I think the cards that are going to matter a ton are going to be this card, Fellowship of the Ring, and the Red Book of Westmarch, because I'm going to have to explore a lot of locations, and we need to make sure we get through the scenario without Old Man Willow getting to us. So let's take a look and see how we have this set up. Based on the campaign pool, I have earned Gandalf's Delay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Frodo. I was delayed.
It's funny because when it says that you've earned a burden, it just makes it seem really funny because, you know, burdens are bad, but we've earned it. There it is. And also during setup, we would attach the One Ring.
Is it secret? Is it safe?
To Frodo, and then Mr. Underhill.
Underhill. My name's Underhill.
Underhill.
We're friends of Gandalf the Grey.
Is attached to the Ring Bearer, and in this particular quest, we end up with a boon, Old Bogey Stories. Okay, and you'll see that there's a whole bunch of stuff that we have to worry about on setup. You'll see I have the quest cards 2 set off to the side here. We'll explain that in a minute. The first side, 1A, says set Old Man Willow and the Withywindle out of play. So here's the Withywindle, and there's Old Man Willow. Don't worry, Old Man Willow's going to come back, thump us. We add one different location to the staging area, and then we shuffle the encounter deck. In this particular scenario, there's 5 different locations. There's Deep Gully, Wall of Trees, Strange Wood, Oppressive Forest, and Misleading Path. The goal of this scenario is to collect enough victory points, which are found on all the locations, to pass along to the next stage. So it's kind of similar to Emyn Muil, where you have to collect victory points to win, except in this case we have to collect victory points to move on to the next stage. So I think the best solution, at least in solo play, is to take Wall of Trees because of its passive ability. It says, while Wall of Trees is in the staging area, progress must be placed on Wall of Trees before it can be placed on the current quest. And it has victory X, which is the number of players in the game, which is 1 in this case. So this is, to me, the best choice because the first turn I get to explore a location that has victory points, and that can help out. Okay, so I'm gonna take these guys and put them back on here. This is the way that I normally do it: is I discard everything that I don't want, and then there's a handy dandy little function here that allows me to shuffle everything back into the encounter deck. Okay, I've attached Old Bogey Stories. It says attach it to any hero in play. That's what it says to do on the campaign card. Okay, so I think we have setup figured out. I have already drawn cards and taken a mulligan, and because of Gandalf's Delay, I only have 5 cards, and The threat with this deck would normally be 26, but because I have a 5th Hobbit hero, my starting threat is down to 25. So I think I have everything set up the way that it needs to be set up. I know these setup things are really exciting. So now I'm going to flip the quest card, and it says, when revealed, each player draws 1 card and advance to a random stage 2A. Okay, so I'm going to draw a card, and I get a hasty stroke. That's good. There are some nasty shadow effects in this deck. So I still have yet to get to the resource phase here. So now it says advance to a random 2A. So what I did is I took all the 2As and put them in a pile below quest card 1. And now I'm going to press the page down button, and you can see them shimmying around a little bit. And so the picture on the front is always the same. It's when you turn it over that's a little bit different. Okay, so I'm just doing this. I have no idea. It's just random. And so I'm going to take this card. It says if the number of locations in the staging area is less than the number of players in the game, search the encounter card and discard. So basically, if there's no locations when I get to a random 2A, I have to go find one. But it also says every time to shuffle the encounter deck. I don't have any scrying effects, so I don't think it's going to affect play, but I'm still going to try to shuffle the encounter deck when I do this. Okay, so now when I flip this card over, it's shifting trees. At the end of the round, discard a random location from the victory display. So that's going to prevent me from making progress. So now you can see on the forced effect on this card, it says after placing progress as a result of questing successfully, if there are X or more victory points on locations, so you can't even get around it. Like you can't use the black arrow or the red arrow or, victory display shenanigans to beat it. It has to be X number of victory points on locations in the victory display. So I really have to explore locations. In this case, I need to get 5. One of the things that's going to happen in here is there's going to be locations going in and out of the victory display. So I want to make sure that I keep my victory display out here next to Old Man Willow, because that's going to make life easier. It may be smart, because of this, it may be smart to not quest through the first location to begin with, and then go from there. So now I'm ready for the first resource phase, and I get another hasty stroke. Okay, so I'm going to put the fast hitch onto Sam. It's always good for Sam to have it to begin with, I guess. And then I'm going to play Shirefolk to lower my threat by 4. I now have 1 to cancel a shadow effect in case I get one. So basically, I'm questing against 1 right now. So I think what I'm going to do is I'm just going to quest with Sam and Falco. So that's 5 against 1. And let's reveal card. Oh, it says each player removes a character he controls from the quest and deals 2 damage to that character, 3 damage instead if that character is an ally. This is one of those things right when you get it is horrible for hobbits, because direct damage and doing 2 or 3 to a hobbit character is tough. Now I could put that damage on Sam, but what I'm going to do is I'm going to use the ring.
Steady on.
And I'm going to cancel that effect. And so I'm going to throw this back into the encounter deck. I'm going to shuffle it up. And then I'm going to reveal a new card. And I get another wall of trees. So that is a little more reasonable. So now there's 2 in the staging area. I did 5. So I'm going to put 3 progress onto a wall of trees. And that's kind of really what I wanted to do. And now it says, after placing progress, so we are after placing progress, are there X or more? There's not 5 victory points of locations in the display. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take, and I'm going to pick another random 2A. So again, I'm going to use the page down trick. This is my random 2A. And now I'm going to flip this one, and I'm going to put this back on top of my quest deck, and I'm going to mix it up. And so I already have the locations, but again, it says to shuffle the encounter deck, so that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to shuffle. It gives it a separate sentence. So one of the things in Lord of the Rings that you have to do is resolve everything sentence by sentence. Okay, so now we flip it over, and this is Dark Bad Place. After placing progress walls, at the end of the planning phase, each player must exhaust a hero he controls. And this is why I love Bond of Friendship, because I have the heroes to exhaust, so that's not as horrible as we need. End of the round, so I'm going to do a new phase. Oh, I get a Hobbit cloak. That's great, but I also want to save it. So because I want the Red Book of Westmarch, because that's going to help me quest. I do have Gandalf, which I may keep handy just in case I need to lower my threat. One of the other mechanics in this game, other than exploration, is threat raises. I'm going to kind of sit tight on that. Dark Bad Place says to exhaust a hero. So I'm going to exhaust Frodo to begin with. And so now I'm going to do 3, 5, 7. I'm going to do 7. And there's 2 in the staging area. There's 2 wall of trees. So let's see what I get. Hey, Tom Bombadil. Okay. I gain control of Tom Bombadil, and he becomes committed to the quest. Now, what I like about this objective ally is there's no surge on it. So it comes out of the deck. A lot of those objective allies sometimes have surge, and it just replaces. But this is a free draw, and it's ready and committed to the quest. Now Tom Bombadil says at the end of the round, discard Tom Bombadil, then shuffle the encounter discard pile into the encounter deck. This effect cannot be canceled. So that's another 3. So I did 10. So here's what's going to happen. I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Okay, these go to the victory display. So I'm going to take these guys and put them over here. I'm going to get rid of the progress tokens on them. And I'm going to put these over here. So on the campaign card, I'm going to put 2 progress tokens indicating that I have 2 in the victory display. I don't have enough victory points. I don't have anything in the staging. I can't do really anything. We better get rid of all of these. And so now I'm going to advance to another random 2A. So let me shuffle these up again. Again, in order to do that, I stack them all up and I just hit page down on the octagon. And now I have a whole bunch of randomness. Okay, and I'm going to flip that and put that back on the top. And again, just shuffle it up and put this here. And now it says, search the encounter card and just for location. So now I have to find a location. I think now is the time to do something like a deep gully because I need the 2 victory points. So Strange Woods. That doesn't affect me too much because I don't have my Warden of Healing out. So I think I am going to take a deep gully just for the victory display points. So now we flip this over. Oh, I didn't shuffle the encounter deck. Okay, so now we flip it over. Closing it around them, so I have to reveal an extra encounter card during the quest phase. That's actually helpful when you're playing solo because you need the locations. At the end of the round, it says discard Tom Bombadil, then shuffle the encounter discard pile. So now Tom Bombadil, he showed up, but we have to shuffle him back in the deck. I don't have anything else in my discard pile, so shuffle Tom Bombadil back into the deck. And now we can move on to the next round. Okay, so now we can do an Honor Guard for 2. I can do Quick Beam for 2. And I'm going to do the Red Book of Westmarch for 3. And again, I'm keeping the Hobbit Cloak because the Red Book of Westmarch is more important. And then I'm also keeping Gandalf back. Not on purpose, but there's other things that are more important than it right now. So I'm not going to ready Quick Beam. I have enough right now to be able to handle what's coming out in the staging area. So now it's time to quest. So we're going to quest for 3. 5. We don't have to quest for too much because this doesn't get the progress. I just need to make sure I quest successfully. So that's 5. I guess I'll quest for 6. And there's 2 threat in the staging area. So 6 versus 2. Okay, so we reveal a card, and it's the flies. Get Surge, and now we got a second card, and discard all progress from each location in the staging area. If there's a non-unique active location, which there isn't, randomly choose a location in the staging area. So that fizzles. I don't have any progress, and I don't have a non-unique active location. But it gains Surge, so we will do the next card, and we get another Deep Gully. So I will get rid of this, and do I quest successfully? 2, 4, 5. And I make a progress on the location. Just so I don't have to remove it, I'm not going to put it on there. But I did quest successfully. Okay. So now we do this shenanigan. Oh, I have to reveal a second encounter card. That's was 2 surges. So what is this now? So that's 3. Look, I didn't even quest successfully because now I get another 1, 2, 3. So now I have too much going on. It's fine. There's 8. Let me double check that I quested for the right amount because I think that's 3, 5. I actually quested for 9 because I forgot to count the Red Book of West March. I really should use tokens, but I don't like to use the tokens because they cover up the artwork, and I love to have the artwork. It looks too busy to me. So I did quest successfully. So I will exhaust, put a resource onto Falco. Again, I'd put 1 progress here. I don't have enough in the staging area, so I will pick another stage. I definitely have enough locations that I don't have to worry about locations. But again, separate sentence means I have to shuffle the encounter deck. So I'll go here, and I'll give it a shuffle. And so now we flip this. It's Dark Bad Place. I have to exhaust a hero at the end of the planning phase. Now we have to engage this. And I can't be healed. And this says, after a player optionally engages an enemy, that player raises threat by X, where X is the engaged enemy's attack. Funny thing about this is that this has an engagement cost of 20, and my threat is 23, so I'm going to avoid optional... Oh, wait, I should travel. Helps if I get all this stuff done first here. Let me make sure I do this in the right order. So I guess I'm going to travel to the Deep Gully. That was my original plan because I needed the victory points. As I was saying about the flies here, is that I'm going to not optionally engage this guy. I am just going to just let it come down to me naturally. Now I have to get rid of an attachment that I control. That's the bummer about this flies. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to get rid of the old bogey stories. I'm going to discard it. And so when you discard something with victory points, it doesn't go to the victory display. It just goes into your discard pile. And it's a non-objective attachment. There's only one objective attachment out there, and that's the One Ring. So now I'm going to deal it a shadow card. I'm going to ready Sam, and I will defend with Mary. I know that sounds silly, but I'm still going to do it. Okay, I do have shadow cancellation. It says return attacking enemy. Okay, I don't want to return the attacking enemy, so I'm actually going to cancel that shadow effect. And now I can swing back with Sam and Frodo. Sam didn't get a boost this time around. He's only swinging for 1, which is interesting, but so we have to do it this way. Regardless, that's enough to kill that. End of round. Ready, everybody? Oh, so now I have 2 those things. Okay, so I'm gonna put one of the Hobbit cloaks onto Sam. That wouldn't have helped me last time anyways because its engagement cost was low. I have to exhaust a hero, so I'm going to exhaust Bilbo. There's no enemies in the staging area, so the smart move is to exhaust Bilbo. And now I'm going to quest. I'm going to leave Quick Beam up. So I'm going to quest with Mary for 3, Falco for 6, Sam for 10, and Frodo for 13. So 13. And right now there's 5 in the staging area. So here we go. When revealed, each player removes a character from the quest. So this is that silly card here. And deals 2 damage to that character. I'm going to exhaust the ring.
Steady on.
And I'm going to pay the 1 to cancel everything, shuffle it back in, and I will reveal. Oh, look, it's Tom Bombadil. Tom Bombadil comes into play, ready, committed to the quest, so that's another 3. So I've too much questing, but oh well. What can you do? There's 5, so I made 11. So there's 4. 7 goes on the active quest, but that doesn't matter. But that was an extra 2 victory points. I still don't have enough victory points yet, so I have to do the shenanigans here. I have enough locations out that I don't have to worry about anything. Shuffle the encounter deck because of that funny sentence at the very end. And now flip this. And we are choked with brambles. I think I've seen all 4 of the different quest cards in this playthrough, so that's good. Then it says at the end of the round, remove all progress from each location in play. Well, that's fine because I don't have any cards that put progress on locations, so that's fine. So now we discard Tom Bombadil, and then we shuffle all these guys back into the encounter deck. I got a Halfling Determination, so that's really good because Halfling Determination will help boost my willpower if I need to. I forgot to get my you know what? I'm going to pay the penalty. I forgot to use the Red Book of Westmarch, so I'm not going to get the resource, and that's fine. I mean, it's not fine. I should have known better, but it is what it is. And I should have traveled. Again, I'll pay the price. I forgot to travel. I got too far ahead of myself. I have to pay the price. So now I'll quest for 3, 6, 8, 12, and there's 5 in the staging area. So we get a Wall of Trees. So Wall of Trees is worth 1. That's actually the best card to have gotten right there. So now I can't put the extra progress on the active location. It has to go on Wall of Trees first. So I put 4 progress there. So I flip this. And so I now have my 5 progress in the victory display. Okay. So it says, after placing progress as the result of questing successfully, if there are X or more victory points in the victory display, advance to stage 3A. And there are. X is 5 times the number of players in the game, so 5 times 1 is 5. I get to move on. So I will take these guys, and I will move them here, and take this and move these guys over here. So now we're at stage 3. Okay, so this is where it gets to be fun. Okay. It says, add Old Man Willow and the Withywindle to the staging area. So the Withywindle comes out. Old Man Willow comes out. If you look, Old Man Willow is indestructible, immune to player card effects. When Old Man Willow attacks, discard a random location in the staging area, and then I raise my threat by the number of victory points that is on the card. So now I'm going to get hurt for having victory points. But I can't do anything about it. That's the way it works. Okay, and it says reveal X encounter cards, where X is 1 less than the number of players in the game. Okay, so that's 0. So I'll flip this over, and now we're going to do the Wicked Willow. Old Man Willow can't leave the staging area, but is considered to be engaged with each of the players and attacks each player in turn order during combat phase. So Old Man Willow is going to continually attack during combat phase, and it's going to be a mess. I think that I am going to travel to the Withywindle right now. There's no travel cost to it, but I need to make sure that I am able to handle the extra encounter card, and now is as good a time as any to be able to handle that encounter card. I did quest successfully, so I'll make sure I get my extra resource. Learned my lesson last time. And I do have this guy to have to worry about now. I am going to ready Sam. Okay, Sam doesn't get his bonus because he's just considered to be engaged. I didn't actually engage him. So this is where this becomes a little bit of an issue. Sam has a way to handle this guy. I have 3 defense, and then I also have a halfling determination if I need it. This guy is going to attack. I'm going to defend with Sam. I'm going to reveal the shadow card. No shadow. And so you know what I'm going to do? I'm actually just going to prevent 1 of the damage, and then I'm going to do 1 damage to Sam. That way I still have halfling determination. So Old Man Willow attacked, so I'm going to take 1 of these cards, so it's at random. So I'm going to do the same thing that I did with the 2 Bs, the 2s, quest cards. I'm just going to pick 1 of these at random. I'm going to flip it over. And so victory X, so that's 1. So I have to raise my threat by 1. We do control N. So I get Thorngill. That's a great time for that. So I'm going to get Thorngill, and I'm going to put it on Mary. And I'm even going to spend Mary's resources on it. Change it to an ally, that way it doesn't collect the resource. And now I'm going to bring out Gandalf.
A wizard is never late, Frodo Baggins. Nor is he early. He arrives precisely when he means to.
For 5, let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Normally I would use him to lower my threat in this scenario, but I'm only at 27 threat, so I'm going to actually use him to draw 3 cards. 1, 2, 3. Okay, so that's reasonable. I'm going to use Shirefolk, and the Shirefolk is going to lower my threat by 4, so I'm down to 23 threat, so that's great. I'm going to take Odo Proudfoot and put Odo Proudfoot into play. So I get to look at the top 5 cards and find a Hobbit. I think Rosie Cotton is the best option here. So close that, shuffle my deck. Okay, I'm going to play Rosie Cotton.
Rosie Cotton dancing. She had ribbons in her hair. If ever I was to marry someone, it would have been her.
My board state got just a little bit better. So I am going to leave Mary up because I want him to attack. He's attacking for 6, so I can't afford not to have him attacking Old Man Willow. So I'm going to do 3, 5, 9, 12, 14. And in the staging area is 5, 8. And I can also boost here. I'll send Quick Beam for another 2. So that's 16. 16 versus 8. Okay, so let's see what we can do. 1 card, good surge, 2, and then this. When revealed, each player removes a character from the quest, and deal 2 damage to that character. 3 if it's an ally. You know what? I will remove Quick Beam from the quest, and I will prevent 1 of that damage, so he takes 2. And that's fine. Okay, so we added 4 to this, and we needed 5. So I'm going to use Rosie Cotton to give me my extra 1. This goes in the victory display, and I'll shuffle it up a little bit. And I did 1 extra, so that goes there. I was able to quest successfully, so I'll get my resource, and then I have to travel to the misleading path. See, this is the whole thing. This is why I love this game, is because it's a, like, in this part of the book, there's like nothing that they're doing except kind of fighting off Old Man Willow. There's not like orcs chasing them. Like, it's a lot of exploring through the forest and getting lost in the forest, and that's why I love it. So it's good. Okay. So again, this guy is engaged. He's considered to be engaged. Deal it a shadow card. I will ready Sam. Sam's defending for 5. So I will use Sam. Defending player discards a non-objective attachment that he controls. Well, what's the best attachment that I could get rid of? I think the best attachment that I could get rid of right now is Mr. Underhill.
You draw far too much attention to yourself, Mr. Underhill.
So what I'm going to do is I'm going to boost Sam's attack, or boost Sam's defense by 2, so now I don't take any damage from Old Man Willow. He made his attack, so I'm going to randomly pick a card in the staging area, or in the victory display. It's Wall of Trees, so I raise my threat by 1, so I'm at 24. That gets discarded. And now I'm going to attack. So attack for 6, 10, and I'm going to boost my attack by another 3, so that's 13. So I do 9 damage to Old Man Willow. Now I can't kill him, but I want to try to at least get 12 damage on him. Control N. And now I'm going to put another Hobbit cloak onto Frodo, because in case I have to discard another non-objective attachment, I would rather it be that. So questing. 3, 5, 8, nope, 9, 12, 14, 16, and I'm up against 2, 5, 8, 11. 11 in the staging area, and I'm at 16. Okay, so I think I'm okay. So I will quest, so there's another Deep Gully. So that's another 2. And so I make 3 progress. I get through this location. The good thing about this location is that it's not victory display. So that means it doesn't go to the victory display. It doesn't do the Old Man Willow thing. So we'll just discard it, and then I get to make another progress onto the active quest. Okay, so now travel. I'm going to travel to the Strange Wood just to get the thread out of the staging area. And I will, again, this guy comes over. He's considered to be engaged, so again, Sam doesn't trigger, but we got it figured out. So I will deal a shadow card. I will ready Sam. And let's see. If there are no locations in the staging area, add this location. There are locations in the staging area, so that fizzles. I'm going to boost Sam by 2. His defense by 2, so he defends. That's great. Oh, he's exhausted. Okay, and now Mary attacks for 6. So he does 2 more damage to the Old Man Willow. He attacked, so I better get rid of a location here. So this one, it's the Wall of Trees, so I raise my threat by 1. Okay, so I'm going to play Peace and Thought. Now it's a refresh action. So what I'm going to do is hit Control R. Okay, all that does is ready everybody, but we're in the refresh phase. So I can spend 1 resource, and I can exhaust Bilbo and Sam if I need to, and I can draw 5 cards. So that's what I'm going to do. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So now I'm going to do this round. So Pippin comes out into play for 2. Treebeard is going to enter play.
Treebeard, some call me.
For 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Unexpected Courage is going to go on to Mary. So I think that worked out pretty well for me. I have more willpower now than when I started, so I think I'll be okay. Let's quest. So I'm going to quest with Mary or actually, you know what? I'm going to leave Mary up. I'm going to quest for 3, 6, 9, 11, 13. I'm going to quest with Mary for 16, which is what I was questing with before. And in the staging area now is 4, 7, 10. Doom 2. That says, at the end of the phase, raise each player's start by X, where X is the number of enemies in the staging area. I can handle that. Okay. So I'm going to, at the end of the phase, right? Okay. So I did 6. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. This flips over, goes into my victory display, and now I'm going to travel to the other one. I guess I should have done this. So there's 1 in the staging area. Now, because I traveled, I'm able to put the Curious Brandy Buck into play. And now I will deal Mr. Old Man Willow a shadow card. And I will ready Sam. And hopefully life is good. No shadow effect. I will boost Sam's defense with Rosie. And so Sam's defending for 5, and he defends perfectly. And now I will attack with Mary for 6. Sam is exhausted. So I'll attack with Mary for 6. And that does enough damage to Old Man Willow now. Feeling pretty good. So now if I can just... Oh, I forgot. I attacked. So let me shuffle up the victory display. Raise my threat by 2. 1, 2. Okay. So now I will... Ready, everybody? I get a Dagger of Westerness. That's phenomenal. Dagger of Westerness can go on to Mary. I can't wait to get down the line and have Mary kill the Witch King. That's my hope. That's my thematic hope at some point. Okay, but now we have to quest. And now I think we want to YOLO quest through this as much as we can. Okay, we need 13 more. So, look, a quest for 3. I forgot to get my resource on to Falco again. Oh well, pay the price. It's the only way you're going to remember is by making mistakes. So, and it's a response. Responses are optional, so if you miss them, you miss them. It wouldn't affect the outcome of last round if I were to do it, but hey, I missed the trigger, so that's what's going to happen. So, 3, 6, 8, 12, 15, 18, 21, 23, 25. So I'll do 25, and I'm up against 2, 4, 7. Okay, I get a Grasping Root. After Grasping Root engages a player, so that's an extra 3. So that's 10. So 15. So that's going to be 3. So flip that. That goes in the victory display. So that was 3. So I make 12 progress. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. And I boost with Rosie for another 2. Did it. There it is. So now let's see. What do I get for beating this? I'm going to flip over the campaign card and says if there are at least 12 damage tokens on Old Man Willow, the players have earned the Old Bogey Stories boon card. So I'm going to go to my campaign log and I'm going to put that right in there. And let me also see what the see what my score was. 114. Okay, so score was 114. Old Bogey Stories I've earned. Okay, so nothing's out of the campaign pool here. I played this. Today is the 20th of May. That's not a question. So there it is. So the next quest is going to be Fog on the Barrow Downs, another Gen Con quest. So I'm excited to try it with my Bond of Saga Ship Hobbit deck. See you later and have a great day, everybody.